it's Clay. How you guys doing? I just wanted to do a video. This is probably going to be a two-part video on a new guitar I just got. This is a Kirn Barnbuster. I just got this probably about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I've had it and I've played it a lot since then, and have really fallen in love. And wanted to just do just a full-out kind of review demo. Let any of you know who are looking at any of Kern's guitars. My experience, my thoughts, and whether or not I'd recommend it. So this video I'm just going to talk about this guitar. There isn't going to be any playing. I will have a demo with a lot of sound clips using my XFX 2. So look on my channel for that. But this one I'm just going to talk about the guitar and kind of my experience. So first of all, Kirn is a really, really nice guy to work with. I actually have been on the TDPRI Telecaster forum for many years now, and when I was learning how to, build guitars, or I guess technically assemble them, a lot of the guitars that I have been, Warmoth projects or all parts. I got a ton of information from the TDPRI forums. And Ron is a very avid poster there, and he actually has threads where he will, in detail, take pictures and go through explaining every step along the way in building a guitar from start to finish. And just his level of, attention to detail, his accuracy, his knowledge, his thoroughness, and also just like his sense of humor and his style and his I guess the way in which he builds these guitars. It just really, really impressed me. And I've always thought that I really wanted to get a hold of one of his guitars, and they're extremely unique. So for those of you who don't know, I will leave a link to his website down below, but the thing with these Barnbusters is that he will take reclaimed lumber from buildings that were maybe erected in the 1800s, and he will, they're being torn down now within the last 20 years, and he'll take that old lumber, generally pine, and turn it into a Telecaster. So this is all a custom-made guitar, and the body specifically was taken from an old the old Globe grain elevator, which stood in Superior, Wisconsin, right by Duluth, Minnesota, kind of up in the on the Great Lakes there of Lake Michigan. So this actually came from that old Globe grain elevator. So the old Globe grain elevator for a while was the tallest grain elevator in North America, and it was a really amazing building. But anyways, this body actually was taken from the old Globe grain elevator. So this piece of pine, I'm just going to go ahead and do a close-up here. This piece of pine with all these knots and scars and knurls or whatever, I mean, it's just so cool. There's so much striping, and it's just such a cool piece of wood. But this body is from, this old building that was erected in 1885. It stood for 100 years, torn down, I believe, in the 1980s. And now it is a Telecaster. So first, that's kind of the main draw to these Barnbusters, and what makes them so cool is that he takes these old pieces of wood and turns them into guitars. And his theory is that there's a reason why some of the old guitars from the 60s sound so good. It's because the wood has a chance to age and to I guess mature, and this is like a pretty time-tested, I guess, a lot of the older guitars people really like, whether it's acoustic. Some of the old Martins are really heralded to be really good. And so his theory is that, when you take a piece of wood that's already been on this earth for over 100 years and you turn it into a guitar, the guitar is going to sound better. And also it's just really cool. It's really cool to have this backstory, to have this, it feels like a real instrument. It's very unique. Each one is very, there's no two that look alike. And so that was kind of the main draw, is that you can get a guitar from him that you really can't get anywhere else. Now in terms of specifications, it's just a really good old-fashioned classic Telecaster. We've got this 1950s styled body made out of pine. It's finished with nitrocellulose lacquer, just like Leo did it. And the attention to detail on the finish is absolutely stunning. It's kind of a nice satin finish. There isn't a ton of gloss to it on the body, so it's really smooth, and it really fits the nature of the body really, really nicely. And even just like the attention to detail is extremely high. I mean, like a little thing, the neck plate, I don't know if you guys can actually see this, but the neck plate actually is beveled into the wood. So there's actually a little cutout here where the neck plate fits in, so it's perfectly flush with the body. Usually a neck plate sits on top of the wood, but this neck plate is actually beveled into the body. Just a little detail like that I think goes to show how much attention to detail Ron has with these guitars. And it's just a really, I mean, you've got your tone, volume, three-way selector switch, you know, an old school Bakelite Telecaster black pickguard, single ply, you know, just like they used to make them. Now these two pickups are actually Ron's own hand-wound pickups, and they are really excellent pickups. I've really enjoyed them. They're definitely more old school, vintage wind, low output, classic Telecaster, but they cover a ton of ground. They're extremely clear and extremely detailed, which I really enjoy. But they also can, you know, get really gritty and gnarly, and they rock really well. I'm not much of a country twang player, so I was a little bit nervous about the pickups to begin with. But, you know, once I plugged it in, I was immediately sold on how good they sound. It's just a really good sounding instrument. And even just the way the feel of the three-way, the way that the volume knob rolls back is really good. I have not been, as somebody who tinkers with every guitar he's ever owned, I have not been, you know, thinking, oh man, I should change out the pickups or put in a treble bleed or change the pots or anything like that. You know, this is extremely high quality, you know, top of the line. You know, we've got this nice old school ashtray bridge with the compensated brass saddles. You know, just everything is really top notch. Moving on to the neck, this is a maple neck. It's a really nice, big, fat, you know, 1-inch thick baseball style, you know, round C-style neck, which I really enjoy. I've always preferred bigger necks, and this is definitely one of those. I believe it's a 1-inch thick all the way down, or close to it, and it's really nice. I also have an all parts, I believe it's an SRO fat, or SMO fat. I think I actually have one of both. I have the TRO fat and the SMO fat. So I have two of those big baseball necks from All Parts, and this is definitely feels similar in terms of the contour and everything like that. It has medium jumbo frets, and again, Ron's, you know, lacquer is really nice. I don't know how this I can actually pick up on the camera, but the back of the neck actually has a little bit of like a hand rubbed or a satin-ish feel, where it's very smooth and very slick. But then there's actually like a break line here by the headstock, where it's very glossy, and the top is very glossy, but then again, the break line in the area you actually play, it's a little bit dulled down so it can be a little bit smoother, which I really enjoy. Again, those little attention to details is extremely impressive. And also, you know, it's got these classic Fender tuners, which have been absolutely perfect. They have really held this guitar, has stayed in tune phenomenally well. Just a superb instrument. Also, the setup when I got this guitar was unlike any other setup. I mean, I've taken my guitar to luthiers. I've even bought a bunch of books and learned how to set up guitars myself, so I, you know, have a basic understanding of what it takes to get a guitar into a playable status. But the setup on this instrument was absolutely amazing. The action was so low. The balance of, you know, the pickups in the saddles and everything was absolutely incredible. I even had to raise the action a little bit because it was so low that I wasn't even used to it. You know, I was playing everything differently. Like I was playing faster, and my bends were all weird just because I'm so used to playing with guitars with more inferior setups. So I almost had to take it down a notch because it was almost too good. You know, that's just a testament again to Ron's attention to detail. And really, it's one of those things where you simply can't get a setup that good unless every piece of the instrument is put together in such a way that it all works together very harmoniously. And it was really impressive to pull it out of the box, you know, let it accumulate to my temperature and humidity, tune it up, and bam, the setup was amazing. And so yeah, overall, I'm going to just look through on his website, see if there's any other features that I had missed. This is just a standard Barnbuster. I did not get any of the appointments. It's got, 9.5 inch radius on the neck, 21 medium jumbo frets, 1 5/8 nut width, natural bone nut. The tuners again that I mentioned are vintage style Goto, 16:1 ratio. Yeah, just a really solid guitar. Now a little bit on the weight. This actually, I haven't put it on a scale. I don't have a number. I would guess it maybe is somewhere between, maybe 8 pounds. But it feels very lightweight, extremely comfortable. In no way is this a heavy guitar. It's just a very nice guitar to hold and play for hours and hours. There are options. You can add options for a brief price. You can change the neck. You can get a different saddle setup. You can use a 4-way switch, or you can go for more of a custom route. as well. You know, Ron is really, really nice to work with. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. So like the ordering process, you know, I just gave Ron a call. He answered the very first time, and you know, we spoke for about half an hour, and it was a really enjoyable conversation. He was a really nice guy to talk to. You know, he asked all the right questions about figuring out what I was looking for and what would make me happy as the buyer. And it was just a really, really enjoyable experience. I think he estimated that it might be like an 8-week wait time, and I think I got it within 4 or 5 weeks. So the arrival of the guitar was actually ahead of schedule. And he sent pictures along the way. You know, when he had picked the body out and started assembling, he sent me pictures. So just a very, very prompt, you know, easy to work with, detail-oriented. I even had a change because I believe he had 3 different types of source wood for the body. And the initial one that I think I requested, I changed my mind. And he was really accommodating for somebody like me who changed their mind, and you know, that probably would be a little bit annoying to deal with, but he was very gracious and very easy to work with, and just overall made the whole experience really, really fantastic. And you know, here I am a month later, and I have this guitar. I've played it at church. I've been playing it a lot here at home, and I'm extremely impressed. You know, this is an instrument that is truly, you know, a master-built instrument. You know, Ron is, without a doubt in my mind, you know, a top-notch builder and luthier, and he really knows his stuff. He knows exactly what he's doing, and you know, I would not imagine that you could find a better product from anyone. If this is the kind of guitar you're looking for, you're not going to find a better product anywhere else. You know, and if you want other things, you know, Ron doesn't just make Barnbusters. He makes all sorts of different guitars. You know, whatever you wish, he could probably make it a reality. So overall, my experience has been extremely positive, and overall, I'm just really, really enjoying this guitar. It is a very unique instrument. It's something that I know that you can't find anywhere else, something just like this, to the same level of detail and craftsmanship, and just like the cool factor. You know, this wood, this body wood, is so incredibly cool. You know, with all of the streaking and the knots, you know, on this back, I just can't stop raving about how much I enjoy it. Just a really, really top-notch instrument. So anyways, if any of you guys are a big fan of Telecasters, you know, old school, classic Telecasters, and you really want something that's unique, that has a very, you know, old style finish, something that's very classy, you know, whatever you want to describe this kind of body, Ron makes a really nice guitar. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of my thoughts on this guitar, and definitely look for the tone demo coming up soon to follow. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.